since 1997. I've not watched the changes I want that so just such policy issues that because of so please go to tell your parents.
Thank you very much. We will proceed.
Who drive? Who drive? Who drive?
Normally, when you tell us about it. Thank you very much, Chairman. Yes, I'm from a family of another family, another side of son. I'm a wife of children. Currently, the leader of community side of Parliament. Also, serving as the leader of government business association. I have served the past finance committee, of which I served 6 years in the Banking Board of Finance Committee. Been a deputy minister of finance for 4 years. I've been a minority leader in the last 2 years. Thank you very much.
Bella, I noticed that in your CV, your name is Casey Atubafos. The letter from secretary to the president. Which letter I interrogate? But when you introduce yourself, you said you are Atubafos. Have you abandoned the case? Maybe we can use it. So, well, so Cassia is good. I've been saying cases, so Cassia Atubafos. Very great.
Minority leader, no by need to fight for all the chairman of the party. I'll give you that mean, I'll give you the floor.
Chairman,
I've already emphasized around.
This is not.
If you want to be competent, subjective or leader to rules, when it comes to procedural jurisprudence, it's an area you don't want to go for. So please, I beg of you, don't let us start from there. I know you said it on the item because the public is following us. Yes, I beg of you.
Thank you.
Me ore. Hey. From me ore.
I'll get it.
No, from me.
I'll get it.
Me ni uni afefe.
Honourable members, the nominees, the chairs, and I will proceed to take a question. First question. rules at any questions. So every question subject to the discussion. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations. Very well for country. You did 11 years, so really humble about experience. But honorable nominee, I'd like to just that your answers here carry a lot of weight. The investor community, with local and international, are watching and listening to every statement that you make. So I just want to let you know that to be mindful of what was no pressure. My first question. Proceed, ask the question. Let's leave it to the
Afɔlɔ ma kɔsɔbɛ ha adwene ade yi aba biribiara bɛkanta biribiara bɛkanta so ɛsɛ nfa ma wɔ mango onye twa so Open the hair. For hair menu. For hair menu. Make my neighbor. That's the Wednesday. Nobody has a. More you for Wednesday. Means for family. No, that don't finish.
Just want you to work on it, especially so when Honorable Atkinson was there and Honorable Drew Wise on the chair. What I saw was I didn't see Honorable Atkinson trying to be co-chair. At the moment, so far, people watching might think you are a co-chair. So I'm just appealing to you. Your role in this is very important. Without a doubt, it's very important. So for the viewing public, we just believe that the two of you should manage so that the interaction between the two of you does not appear as if it's a struggle for power. So I don't have time to say that we have started well. But if possible, let there be one chair which we all defend to. So thank you.
Honourable members, we had a preliminary meeting and we agreed on the roadmap. Therefore, I will not be happy where the politics is going and move in 2020. Honourable members, ask the question. Please proceed to ask your question.
The ranking cannot interject any type of thing. It's completely parallel. You cannot interject any type of thing.
Head answer. I'm a person who's head or person so. But
Also, no situation where you are more or less direct, then please, I will not go to church. I know my position. Give me the truth. You and I are practitioners. We know what some of these communities need. So please allow the member to please talk to them. She's a new member, her first time in this exercise. She's a woman. Let us allow her to build her confidence. Let us allow her to flow. Let us allow her to let the information upon which her destiny will be mounted, so that the people watching and listening will appreciate. So that the member, the me himself, will also appreciate the person. So
Which one install Adobe?
I will not coach her to
We don't machine like I pay you more, Juma. That's well. When install we need to say, I'm going to throw it too. Wait. Let me go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Being a creator of website, did not say I am going to request additional finance. I said this.
Wait. For install, they just click it next now. Install we are interested with my right. Okay. What is your man? This piece here, I remember, window, much as Windows 10. We didn't have Windows 10 inside. Feed we are Mario.
The mayors to scrap a number of taxes. So how do you intend, if you're given a Minister of Finance, to bridge the revenue gap?
I've studied the stay without messing away. That has huge potential in organization. Not necessarily option these classes before you go in. Have the handles, what you need to do to organize. I will work on each area as I see national finance to ensure that we increase compliance and generate the revenue as much as we can. In the meantime, the medium term, it is my vision when I'm good to increase the revenue from 30 to 48, cash revenue from 30 to 16 to 80%. That will be that solves the case. I believe the potentials are out there, doesn't necessarily should taxes. Yes, we have obviously announced that we are going to taxes. The state does that. But that's not necessarily what we care about. Yeah. And we have to. But it doesn't necessarily reach these taxes. So taxes out there are not bringing everybody that they should. For example, the betting taxes bringing less than 50 million dollars describe everything in a way that if you do adjust, particularly from the signatures. I mean, the noise for every person does not comprehend the position of such a tax. So I believe that describing such a tax is necessary.
Thank you so much. Affecting your businesses. So what are you going to do differently? What are you going to do differently to ensure that our macroeconomic policies are more effective in lowering interest rates for the private sector?
Thank you. I think government has a key role to play in this, particularly the fiscal authorities. I say this because if the country is actively in the market, borrowing every week. I mean, if you look at the T-bill market today, every single week we roll over 111 billion Ghana cedis. And if you were to roll over 111 billion Ghana cedis week in, week out, the interest rate is setting. And you should also understand that interest rate sometimes is a function of inflation. That is why personally, I believe there's the need for us to immediately work to bring inflation down. And then also, in such a way that
we are bound to
stabilize inflation, stabilize the exchange rate.
Just move on number.
But we do such a thing, certainly the consensus. There's a lot of work we have to do. We start from the fiscal authorities. We need to cut expenditure. We have to cut waste. Certainly, you'll be able to. You'll not be able to certainly go to the market in a careful way that you will not be borrowing as much as you're borrowing today. That in itself will crowd out the private sector. That interest rate will come down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Minority. That's they're clarified so that I can make a proper foundation. I want you to clarify.
I said, not necessarily have to discuss further increasing the tax rate.
So, how do you juxtapose that within the context of your previous position in respect of incentives to the private sector? We've had a private sector policy by the previous government where the whole intent was to free the space for the private sector so that they can invest more, so that they can employ more. You held the position strongly against that incentive, that taxes be necessarily imposed on raw materials that are imported for manufacturing purposes in the country, on equipment that are imported for manufacturing in the country, and all that. How do you justify it?
Chairman, my position.
Honorable Mama, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, the nominee did not say that taxes should not be imposed on raw materials. The issue was whether or not taxes already imposed should be received or exempted by this House. So let's communicate accurately.
The Thank you very much, Honorable Ayaga. And on this, we have all of us who proceed to answer the question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My position on tax exemptions are Chairman, tax is gradually a major source of tax expenditure of fiscal fund. Unfortunately, it's not properly targeted. So you see a situation where we decide huge volumes of taxes to particular companies. At the same time, because we are exempting those taxes, we end up increasing the tax rates. So many other people to pay. I believe everyone else must be given an opportunity to pay taxes. My concern, particularly with the one that you are making reference to, I'm sure it has to do with 1D, 1F. It is not transparent enough. I do not believe that certain individuals must be privileged enough to get tax exemptions. Whilst others doing the same should not be given the opportunity to get tax exemption. And I have contended in the past that if the government insists on tax exemption for 1D, 1F, they should put it in the law and allow everyone else to benefit from such tax exemption. My main concern, particularly my criticism against the 1D, 1F, has to do with the opaque manner that it has been done in the past. And I still stand by that. If the government or if this current government still believes that tax exemption 1D, 1F is relevant, then obviously my suggestion is put it. Let everyone benefit from it, but don't pick and choose, decide who should benefit from such a tax exemption. I think it's wrong. The taxation must be fair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last one.
Thank you. Leader, I'm making this comments as a result of what you just said. Yes, you complain of the lack of transparency. But for the records, the Honorable Yabuama is here. He chaired the committee. You may recall that as a result of those concerns, government at the time was able to meet those concerns to the extent that there was even a waiver on one item, raw materials. In fact, let me say not waiver, the raw materials component was taken out of the whole exemption. And through scrutiny, the request was very much reduced. Would you say that it was purely political because those concerns were addressed? But you still said no.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not regretting the sense that when these taxes were introduced, tax exemptions were introduced to us in this house, initially we were called upon to accept approximately $458 million. Upon my insistence, the Minister of Finance went back to working together with the Minister for Trade and brought it down to about $100 million. So straight away, I saved the nation approximately $400 million, about $358 million. Obviously because of my assistance. I still felt there was the need for us to do more. And that $100 million, I could still see things that I disagree. But Mr. Chairman, I have no regrets, and I think I did what is right for Ghana and for all of us. Because clearly, it wasn't right for us to grant some of those tax exemptions. I wasn't alone. Colleagues from the Finance Committee agreed with me, and together we fought it. But obviously, I did not champion this alone. Let me also use this platform to pay tribute to Honorable Kwesi. Honorable Kwesi was instrumental in the fight against this tax exemption because he agreed with me that these taxes were certainly not right, and we are working for Ghana. And if we can save $558 million, look at our diplomacy. We use that money to fix that diplomacy. I think it wasn't necessary for us to approve that tax and those concerns. It's not personal, it's not political, but we did it in the right intention, obviously for God and the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Honorable. capital ban also. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Nominated as Minister Designate. I've got a few questions. The first one, can you tell us how you are going to fund government machinery, given that now there is no appetite for lenders to give money on long term, and the money market segment is already crowded, as you initially alluded to. So how are you going to fund government machinery? Lenders are not ready to give long term, the money market end is already crowded. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the short term, we need to bring confidence back. It's important as it. My proposal is for us to immediately introduce a very strong budget, signaling that we are ready to do the heavy liftings. That first budget will indeed send a right signal that Ghana is ready to open our doors for investors to come into the country. I believe if we are to introduce strong measures, particularly from the expenditure side, we will be able to bring inflation down to 8% plus or minus 2. In doing so, we'll be able to reopen the domestic bond market so that we can move away from the over-reliance on the treasury bond market. And so we'll be able to, at the minimum, smoothing the harms that has been created as a result of the domestic debt exchange and the euro bond. And so we need to bring confidence back. But you know, if you are confronted with a situation where you do not have financing, then there's no need for you to liquidate. Let's stay with expenditure. Let's cut expenditure. Let us not pretend that there's money out there for us. Just like has been done somewhere, we can also do it here. My proposal is let's look at the expenditure side as well. It shouldn't always be borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. It's time for us to cut the waste. And so I will leave the process to cut the waste. And I will need you, honorable members, to help me cut the waste so that we live and stay within the envelope that we can. But when push comes to shove, obviously, we will work with our development partners, such as the African Development Bank, the World Bank, the European Union, and other bilateral agencies, including the IMF, to raise cheaper sources of finance to finance government expenditure, particularly expenditures that come from program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question. Mr. President, my second question, already given a hint on it, which relates to tax exemptions. Particularly, what I want to hear from you, or what I would expect you to tell this committee, is that the Exemptions Act of 2022, Act 1083, allows the states to take equity stake in entities that apply for tax exemptions. This has never been applied, though the Act allows it. Can you tell this committee that under your regime, you'll be bold enough to apply this aspect of the Act? The entities that come for tax exemptions, you'll be ready to go in for equity stake for this country. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's now great. We've done one, I think last year. Honorable Adina will bear me witness. Honorable Kweku Kwarteng championed it. In fact, I seconded a motion for us to set it home and allow to implement the Tax Exemption Act, particularly the portion that allows the government of Ghana to take equity stake. So we've done once, and as a champion, against tax exemptions. And someone who insists that tax exemption must also count, you can count on me that I will do whatever it takes that when push comes to shove that we have to grant tax exemption. The country must benefit. You can count on me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So everyone has heard and will be watching. My third question. You know, it is commonly known that we generate really nothing much from the informal sector when it comes to taxes. And if you look at the mid-year budget of 2024, if you look at page 107, you realize that tax from PAYE, you look at the revised budget, it's about 21.113 billion cedis. Whereas taxes from self-employed for the same period, just about 1.572 billion cedis. So this is a ratio of 13 to 1. So the formal sector, PAYE, revenue from those taxes, is 13 times what we get from all the self-employed. So the gap is so big. What would you do practically to close this gap? A gap of 13 to 1. What would you do practically?
Remember this very valid question, very interesting one. I think that's a genuine concern. First, we need to formalize the informal sector. Second, we need to encourage them to formally register with the Revenue Authority. And third, we need to incentivize them. We can learn from Uganda. Uganda has been able to incentivize the informal sector. And as such, they are collecting more taxes from the informal sector than most of sub-Saharan African countries. The question is, what have they done? What Uganda did was to agree through tax education that a percentage of whatever you pay will be used as your pension contribution at the informal sector. And so my proposal is, why can't we encourage, or through tax education, encourage the informal sector by instituting an informal sector pension scheme where you will plow back, let's say 30%. It doesn't mean quoting 30%, let's say 30% of whatever you pay as your contribution from your income tax, as your contribution to your pension scheme, of which you benefit when you go in retirement. These are options, and we have to learn from best practices. Let's see what has been done elsewhere to formalize the informal sector and to incentivize them to pay. The options are there. I'm looking for advice. I will listen and I'm ready as when I put as minister to work with all of you to see what we can do to allow the informal sector also to contribute every dose right towards the development of our dear country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am going to move to our joint side to take questions from the leaders of the Finance Committee. Starting from Honorable Adebayo. Thank you very much, Chairman. That's going to convey to our colleague with whom I have worked closely over the years. But I want to that is income from when I was invited, I asked you to work with you. Because I wanted to do this side, very solutions. I'm doing meetings conversations on the way to Honorable, as I can see, I believe that all my colleagues are because I know so I'm looking at this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. It's not a pen of retired.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mega congratulations. I've worked with you since 2013 to date, so I know what you stand for. So, Mr. Chairman, I have only one question for you. Mr. Domini, how do you plan to address the country's fiscal challenges and ensure debt stability? Thank you very much.
How nominee longer? Ghana's debt management has been a job because of concern. It's sad to know that the country has gone through very difficult debt exchange domestically. It's also sad to note that we had to restructure our Europeans in order to not repeat the past mistakes. We intend to establish an independent management office. In the meantime, we have a major harm that we have to deal with. For example, on the 18th of February, about 6.8 billion Ghana cedis were due for payment. It's our responsibility to make sure. And the Ministry of Finance and the legislature. My responsibility is to make sure what has happened in the past has not repeated. And so I will do just that. I will work with the Ministry of Finance, I will work with our development partners, and we will do whatever it takes to avoid a second wave of the crisis we face in 2022. That I can assure you. Thank you very much. Any other question? Yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, for giving me the opportunity to ask. I will begin by congratulating the Honorable Leader for this high office being nominated to. I would want to find out from the Honorable nominee his general vision for revenue mobilization. We've heard bits and pieces, and it's exciting to hear more what your vision is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I worked at the Honorable Secretary for 4 years and a state practitioner. I learned under him. He used to meet the revenue authorities once every fortnight. As a result, we saw our revenue improve. What I can assure you is that learning from the Honorable Secretary and seeing what the way our revenue increased in the shortest possible time, I'll go by the same approach. But aside that, I will dedicate considerable amount of time towards revenue mobilization. Ministers of Finance often have not paid enough attention to revenue mobilization. I think we should not allow DRA alone to mobilize the revenue. The Ministers of Finance will have a role to play such a role. As I said, I will dedicate a considerable amount of my attention towards revenue mobilization to help the revenue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question.
I only want to wish them.
Thank you. Another time of Honorable Senator. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I see you smiling. I've been in your shoes before. And less than a year ago, I was sitting here and you were sitting there inspiring questions at me. But I want to use this opportunity to congratulate you. I think you have worked very hard. You put us on our toes when you were in government. And I hope to do the same constructively moving forward. So I wish you well. Just one or two questions that will be able. you were before, you were there as a deputy minister, you are now going as the supreme finance minister yourself. And I know that a lot of decisions will rest or come from you. I remember that in 2023, during the budget, you mentioned the fact that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will inherit the report economics, in the parliamentary hazard, on November 21st, 2023, as a push exercise. But at the end of 2024, and during the transition, we shared some economic data with you. You have really that we exceeded revenue. CGI exceeded revenue by 400 million to was 178 million or so. Yes, they exceeded by 400 million. The economy grew from 2.9% in 2023 to the first half of the year to 5.8% in 2024. We managed to take inflation down to 23.2% from 23.8% in December. The banking sector assets have also improved from 274 billion in 2023 to about 336 billion in 2024 October. The private sector credits increased by 28.8% from a negative of 7.5% in the same period last year. The primary balance has improved from a deficit to a surplus, and we live in a reserve of 7.7 billion, representing 3.5 months of import cover compared to the 2.7 months of import cover from 5.9 billion in 2023. And we also talk about the debt restructuring. And in there, we also told you how far we've gotten with that. 90%, not just the private sector, the private bit, and we will be done. So, my dear friend, and we've known each other way back in our university days, so I can call him a friend. And so, my dear friend, with this data that we presented, how would you describe the 2024 economy that you have heard?
Thank you very much, that is out there. I say this because the transition numbers she's presenting. We did a transition between 9th to about 21st of December. It doesn't give you India numbers. Chairman, I heard her talk about revenue, but revenue alone will not give you a picture of the fiscal deficit. You need to consider monetary expenditure. I'm also aware that between 30th to the 1st, we saw the controller paying out about 18 billion cedis. So 18 billion cedis as against the 400 that you gained. That's a deficit. And so let's wait for India numbers. I don't want to speculate. I'll wait for India numbers. And then I'll present so if approved to Parliament. Whichever I want to learn from Professor Sika. I'll wait on them before I make those statements. And when the time comes, I will present the true picture of the economy. I don't want to speculate at this point. Let's wait for our turns. And the budget will be ready. Let's maybe next month, so that we don't use this audio to create speculation. And to add to what the first question said, whatever we say here today, whatever we bring here today as implication, it's very sensitive to the market. So let's be careful to speculate. I don't want to be pushed to speculate. So,
Honorable nominee, you know the rules. What is the meaning of the campaign?
Thank you very much.
Yes, you are proceeding with your next question.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'm glad my friend has confirmed this because in November 2023, the numbers you presented were also provisional, and yet he was able to make the declaration. And so, in November 2023, all that he said Where speculation based on what the Justin does, that he will not speculate, he will rather wait for the outset. But in November 2020, the numbers based on which he made that statement were also provisional.
Honorable Woman, is like your next question.
Can I launch, Your Excellency? And so that's by way of just letting me know that today he's saying that he will wait, not speculate, but in November 2020, these were the same provisional numbers that we gave our assembly for the commission on the Tuesday. Thank you, right. Okay, I move to my second question. And my second question is about resetting that's you. Yes. Resetting Ghana in the highest step to push this agenda. There's a saying that once you first fix your macroeconomy, all other things will fall through. But in your own manifesto, you say that you want to shift from over concentration on the macroeconomy and then prioritize microeconomy. Looking at the current macroeconomic situation, can you say, as you suggested, that it is going to remain the same, that you have fixed the macro such that you can start quickly with your macroeconomy agenda that you gave out in your manifesto? I just wanted to share with us what you think you will do to hit the ground running, as you said in your manifesto, moving away from the macroeconomy because you think you have fixed that for you and then you want to ride on the back of it.
I was here, original TV, and if you want your was
Chairman, to me, so that is not in fact, that's the and there's a lot more as long as the macro is concerned. But it's important for us to understand that we don't only grow the economy from the macro, we grow the economy also from the micro. You don't necessarily create jobs only from the macro, you create jobs from the micro. You don't stabilize the city only from the micro, you stabilize the city also from the micro. Mr. Chairman, it is obvious that in the last many years, Ghana has overly concentrated on the macroeconomy. I think we need to get back to basics. If you want to fix the city, you fail to deal with the structural challenges you face as a country, you will firefight. In the end, it will be short-term. We need to deal with it. Yes, you can use the macro to deal with the short-term challenges. What about the micro? Now your oil revenue is dwindling by 10%, by 37%. And you want cities, you have hydrocarbon assets sitting, you can expand it. What are you doing at the micro side to make sure you can pump in the revenue? Bring the oil out and then get enough revenue to support the economy. What are you doing? You have a cocoa industry that is collapsing, moving from 968,000 metric tons per annum to less than 500,000. What are you doing? These are micro issues that we have to deal with. And I believe that ministers of finance should not only be at the ministry just to pay people, that is only a function of the Ministry of Finance. But ministers of finance must and will have to also pay attention to the economic development and mandate of the ministry. So I can assure you, what we said in our manifesto, we stand by it. We will have to do something different. And when approved, with your help, I will dedicate once again considerable amount of my attention towards the development of the microeconomy, the rest of the economy, to help create jobs and stabilize appearance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before your next question, Honorable One, as a follow-up question, you are done.
Chairman, thank you. I think the question brought you to the city's stability. You know the city appreciated around 30%. And it's really a matter of great concern Can you outline some of the steps you take to stabilize the city?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bank of Ghana alone cannot anchor the currency. The Ministry of Finance will have to play a critical role in anchoring the currency. Mr. Chairman, in the shortest possible time, it is our responsibility to make sure we reduce inflation to 8% plus of almost the target band, the shortest possible time. Inflation, 8% plus or almost 2. And we'll do that through a careful but strong front-loaded fiscal consolidation agenda, expenditure policy. And when we are able to do that, it will help the central bank and monetary authorities to be able to save reserves and be able to protect the city or come into intervene when the need arises. But let me also say that all said and done, that is the short-term measure. But in the long term, as a country, we need to sustainably anchor the currency with a number of policies, and then we see throughout the first of the finance and economy. First is the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board, so that we can use the gold in a way to bring in the forex, the needed forex to support us in the very short term. Second, as part of our manifesto, we said we are going to revitalize the palm industry and the cocoa industry. Already we talked to the World Bank to have that and to make sure that happens. I believe the cocoa and the palm industry will also go a long way to support bringing the needed forex to support. In fact, cocoa had been the mainstay of our economy over the years until recent that the forex is not coming in. We have to do some work, obviously, with the non-traditional export as well. And most importantly for me, we also need to deal with the hydrocarbons. That over the last 8 years, as Chairman the Commissioner was a former Minister for Petroleum, you agree with me that in the last 8 years we've not been able to bring us on stream any additional oil field. That's a major concern. It's not that we don't have the oil is there. It's not that we cannot get additional forex to support, but we need to be quick. And these are things that the Ministry of Finance will have to play very critical role. So we'll sustainably anchor the city by ensuring that these major policies are in place, the shortest possible time, to ensure that we can have a stable city. And that's my priority. As I've said so many times, my priority is stable city, low prices, and indeed job creation. That is a priority, and I'll work to make sure that happens. Thank you.
Now, Honorable, your last question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I heard my brother say that we are going to, according to your manifesto, there's going to be a gold board being set up. And we also know that Bank of Ghana is also having this gold reserve program. So is it a new name for an existing program, or Bank of Ghana will have to halt the current gold reserve program to enable you implement the initiatives in the manifesto? This is just my belief. And my last question is, my brother, you mentioned that we need to work very well to improve our revenue, which is the increase revenue from the 30.8% has been to 16%. I just want to let you know by your information as a revenue strategy policy of the ministry that in the medium term revenue strategy policy, that in the medium term we're going to take Ghana from the current position where we are at about 20%. And I hope that you find time to look at it, and where you need to tweak it and make sure it is implemented for all of us to achieve this target that we have set for ourselves, because at the end of the day, it is the revenue good to Ghana to enable us to what is expected of us. You also mentioned that you will cut the waste, but you know, in the public sector, expenditure composes of, that is my question I'm asking, expenditure composes of compensation, goods and services, and capital expenditure. So when you say you're going to cut the waste, I'm afraid this is what we have. And unless you want to say you want to rationalize the expenditure, and if you say you're going to cut the waste, this is the component of it. Meanwhile, in your manifesto, you also mentioned that you are going to roll out this big expenditure and take it.
Honorable member, you question. You are not asking question. You are making.
I am laying a prayer to answer.
One cannot be like this.
Respectfully, Mr. Chairman, what I'm saying is that in your manifesto, you mentioned some big expenditure items. And one is going to roll out the 10 billion big push policy for strategic infrastructure, which is on page 24 of your manifesto. You also mentioned that you're going to implement an economic transformation agenda, which is also on page 24 of your manifesto. You mentioned that you're going to implement the Ghana framework for industrialization, revitalization support and transformation, aka Ghana First, which is also on page 37 of your manifesto, and your holy grail, that is the 24-hour economy. So with your position of cutting waste and this huge expenditure ticket items in your manifesto, how do we reconcile the two? Thank you.
It has to be cut in such a way that you will not hurt growth, you will not hurt the economy, that you will not cut it. Chairman, I've been in this house for years, 16 years. During this period, I've learned a lot. I learned under Mr. Depe. I've served on the finance committee for 12 years. I've been a ranking member for 6 years. I've been a minority leader for 2 years. Now I'm the majority leader. No one can convince me that our budget does not have waste. We need to cut them. We need to come together, identify them, and cut it. But Chairman, the question is, the waste benefit only a select few, and then its unintended consequences affect all of us as a nation. It ends up breeding fiscal indiscipline, high budget deficit, financing, and in the end we've seen the outcome. Haircuts. That's the outcome. But let me say, going forward, I will work with ourselves. People, so that together we can work to save our country. Yes, the Honorable Abena made a point. But the medium-term revenue strategy is to increase the revenue from its current levels. Our livestock taxes. Because from 13.8 to 20% in the medium term, 2 to 3 years, is very steep. Very steep. 13.8% of GDP to 20% is extremely steep. I'm not saying I will work to achieve, but let me say that 13.8% to 20% is extremely steep. Have you been able to do it in 8 years? The answer is no. And so, unless it is domestic revenue, which include non-tax revenue, but I can assure you, I'll have a look at all of this. And it is in our interest to increase revenue. And we'll do whatever it takes to increase those revenues. Some of the things we'll do from the expenditure side is the establishment of an independent value for money office, so that Parliament, working with us, will be able to set up a ceiling of government contracts that must go through independent value for money classes. That's right. I think that must be done. It will be the beginning of cutting the waste. And I recognize that you've served at the Ministry of Finance for during this period. I know you worked on expenditure, you worked on revenue. So we'll tap it. So help us identify some of the waste you may know about so that we can cut them appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's not that I know Honorable.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Honorable member for a well-deserved nomination. My question has to do with investment, the motivation that you have to give to investor confidence. Over the years, we saw major players in our business industry getting out of the country. Now, the few weeks, however, I've seen some increase in the money market. You have alluded to it. Available data indicates that the last window of the government treasury bill also subscribed about 2 billion. Can you tell us what plans and measures you have to boost investor confidence? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, our conversation, particularly in the private sector, a lot of things here. The sorted VAT regime, the need for us to simplify our taxes, an unfriendly working environment. I believe we need to listen once again to the investor community and the private sector. And in doing so, we work with them to come out with a blueprint that will encourage the private sector to grow. On the one side, I don't know if you meant by the money market side and the one side. We need to immediately improve our credit rating faster. How do you improve the credit rating? Your fiscal will play a role. And signal to them that you are ready to do things differently. I've signaled already that we will undergo an expenditure base, strong, front-loaded fiscal consolidation in the shortest possible time, so that together we can send a strong signal to the market, particularly on inflation. Today, it's very difficult for us to go back to the market. But for us to go back there, domestic money market, I mean, for us to go back there, there are a few things we need to get right. Your credit rating and inflation. Inflation today is 23.8, the highest in the last 8 months. And you can see that inflation is inching up. It's inching up by the day. Why has inflation become so stubborn? And I think it's a question we need to ask. And what do we have to do to be able to bring inflation to a target by 8+1 or so %? It has to start from the fiscal authorities. And we will start. And we know exactly what we have to do. I need your nod, I need your support. And together, we have a responsibility to do what it takes to fix the economy for the benefit of all of us, particularly the ordinary Ghanaian out there who's struggling. So I'm hoping, very hoping, for ideas and to listen to you, not only you, but to the private sector and the entire market, to do whatever you have to do. I'm a very lucky man. I come to this job apart from my personal experience, but I worked under an astute finance minister who was like a father to me. I reach out at any time, and there are a lot of people. Honorable Abena is here, Sister I know, Honorable Amin, the former past minister. And so, let's see whatever it takes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now give the floor to Honorable Hassan.
Thank you, John, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Maki and leader, congratulations. I have a question on public debt. And I'll base it on the mid-year review, 2024 mid-year policy review. Paragraph 51 stated that the public debt of Ghana is 742 billion cedis as of today. I want to ask, how do you plan to manage this huge debt. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, who will manage public debt? I know it's a matter of concern to most of us, but I can assure you, nobody is spared. We will do whatever it takes to clear the harms that has been created as a result of the debt restructuring. For example, I've looked at the domestic maturities carefully, and you can see that as a result of the debt restructuring, 2025, this year, we'll have to pay off amortization, debt repayment, not interest, 12.6 billion Ghana cedis, domestic. 2026, you have to repay another 15.7 billion Ghana cedis. 2027, you have to pay 53 billion, and 2028, 48 billion. So you can see the harms that have been created. It's frightening and worrying. You have similar harms that has been done. Billions of dollars this year, we paid about 64 billion. Others that are coming. For next year, you'll be compelled to pay every year 1 billion US from the Eurobond market. From the bilateral official creditors, we don't know yet because they've not signed the MOU at all. I recognize the challenges that we have to face as a country. I'm familiar with it. What I can say is that we need to urgently go back to the drawing board to see what we can refinance and what we can refinance. And build buffers to things that we can refinance. Currently, we do not have buffers to take off from this debt as a default, particularly the external side. No buffers. We have to learn from the past. We have to learn from our mistakes as a country. Rambo Sekembe once taught me how to build buffers. And his famous sinking fund. When you have the need to save for good during good times to take care of eventualities or during bad times. With this same, to the extent that when we were leaving office, there was enough buffers for the incoming administration to repay the maturing Eurobond. We did just that.
No,
today, it is obvious that we do not have buffers from for the status. On the domestic side, I don't know if we have but nevertheless, and as I've said, don't expect we will manage this.
All right.
That His Excellency, the former President of the Nation, said that he would expect the incoming finance minister to default. I want to use this podium to assure the former president that we will not default. We are very much aware of the harms that has been created. It's not palatable, it's worrying. For example, you need to always, every week in, week out, go to T-bill market and refinancing 111 billion Ghana cedis. Week in, week out. 91 days, you have to refinance 51.6. 182 days, you have to refinance 24.6 billion. In 364 days, you have to refinance 34.9 billion. So together, we are talking of 111 billion Ghana cedis in T-bills that you have to refinance. Or probably roll over. Aside the domestic payment that I spoke about. But we will implement an effective debt management program, and we will establish an independent debt management office. I think I said it earlier. And this independent debt management office
we'll manage and get better. And going forward, avoid past mistakes. I think that is very important. I think we don't have to dwell too much past the past is behind us. We have a country to. So, thank you very much. Any more questions? All members against the ground rules. I'd like to say my discussion as the chairman of the committee. We welcome a question from Sami Awoku, a friend to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to just ask a follow-up question, if it is Mr. Chairman, and then I can move to my substance. Congratulations on the nominee.
No. Mr. Chairman. We had an understanding. The leader of the minority made a valid point to allow a question from a non-member of the committee. Against the existing protocol, the chairman agreed for the person to ask a question. It is not appropriate for that person to now say you want to ask a follow-up question before he starts the question. To go on and answer the question. That is the point I'm making to the chairman. That he is allowed to now.
You were exactly the same.
The chairman is carrying out.
Chairman, today is Monday. Over and over again, I want to assure colleagues in the government of our forest corporation. I am pleading with all of you in the government. No attempt should be made to intimidate my members, especially the new ones. Honorable Kwame Kofos, you are an experienced legislator. What you just did, you knew the effects of what you just did. When I went through guys a bit, then you all crying enough. You do that to my members. I've been calm, I'm watching. You try to take the power from the chair, and then when I react, you say, I'm being like a coach. Don't let us go there. We have started a good morning. Tolerate us enough. Be patient. So far, your side have not done the scrutiny. And we understand you are in government. Scrutiny will largely be done by the minority and opposition. So please, in all humility, if you will be, there's no problem. Let me finish. Vice Chair, Mr. Chairman, I need to finish. I allowed Honorable Maurice Abuja to finish. Even when I had a point of order, I allowed him to finish. The rule of this game is tolerance. And if you are in government and you still act as though you are in opposition, would have it. If your style would be to be attacking me, you will have it. If you think that you are so, you have been asking the question. I'm on my chairman. You know you never gave you say, but chairman, you never gave your advice. Chairman, you never gave event. Chairman, you never allow any friend of this committee to ask questions. Now, the former chairman never allow any friend.
Honorable boy, you don't have the floor. You don't have the floor.
Chairman, I will accord every member of this committee utmost respect. And outside, we continue to treat all of us here with utmost respect. Colleagues, I'm compelled to make this point. We are here in good faith. The minority has cooperated with Chairman for us to get here in this way. The letter got to us in Parliament. An advert was done. We cooperated for the advert to be placed in the paper same day. We were supposed to start this vetting tomorrow. Chairman reached out to me regarding some exigencies. I convinced my side that there is a need for the new government to proceed to form a government. The president needs his team, so let us not obstruct, let's cooperate. I still have communications asking the leader, why are you changing from Tuesday to Monday? I am here to do the people's work with my team. This question of attack on me, colleagues, chairman, with the greatest respect, I would not take it anymore. Even my opening remarks had to receive interjections and point of order. When go and watch Bagre as minority leader, his opening remarks, let's watch the videos. Let's watch Harun Idris. Guys, I don't want a situation where it will be like Markin wants to do this and that. I understand governance. I know governance. But nobody should make an attempt to use some attacks to frustrate. It won't work. And we are not going to boycott proceedings. As Honorable Professor Sakuja once said on the floor, even laying paper, even for him to oppose, he said that there will be chaos. That was his threat. We know what he did to my vice chair. No strong paper, I will never do that. I'm not petty. I know what they did to this 67-year-old woman who was then the chair of the appointment committee, our mother. We know what happened. The cameras watched it. So, police, you are not in government. Your duty is tolerance. Tolerance. If you don't want to tolerate us, and you don't want to advocate, and you are talking about rules, then we'll also go by the rules strictly. I will end here. Chairman, thank you. And then,
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable. The presidents are there. We all know that Honorable Joseph Osei, sitting as chairman of the appointment committee, would never welcome a question from a non-member of the committee. I am using my discretion to allow a non-member to ask a question. I am asking you to ask a question, and to ask a question does not give you room to ask supplementary question before the main question. It's an abuse of the opportunity being given to you. May you proceed and ask your question.
Mr. Chairman, Chairman,
that's it. When they leave here, reports. When we go to Parliament, you don't have numbers in Parliament. So whoever comes here will go through. Just the hackle, because whoever comes here, say if you are, everybody will give reports. We have a Parliament they have the numbers, so they always pass through. They're just trying to be shaky, but
ask your question.
Thank you very much. But first of all, I did not even make a mistake. Just for the record. I did.
Go ahead and ask the question, please.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the clarity. And I was, Honorable Nominee, I would like to refer you to a publication on the 15th of March 2021. And I want to paraphrase because I don't want to place anywhere. And I quote, Ghana today, they are complaining that this gambling is destroying our youth. I've read a number of articles on this, but I've thought that the government will come out with a policy to restrict gambling and to even ban it, he said. And this was a quotation I put to you, Honorable Nominee. I want to ask and proceed on this. Do you still stand by this position of banning gambling and banning betting and all that in its entirety, or now your position has changed? That's what I wanted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, thanks for all the questions. Mr. Chairman, I was on a show with Honorable the Honorable Nkrumah at the time, Minister for Information, I'm sure, had the responsibility to set a government policy on betting. And he said, I'm surprised you're not bringing that question. He said that betting tax is being implemented because it is destroying our youth, and that the government is introducing this betting tax he said the government is introducing this betting tax to deter equivalent to a sin tax, so that they will not be staking the bet. I retorted on a show being hosted by Evans and Sam John FM Express. I retorted by saying that will not solve the problem. That will not solve the problem because I've read a number of articles, and the article presupposes or suggests that it is destroying our youth. And so, if you want to introduce a tax, you have to first look at the elasticities, and as to whether the elasticities will mean that imposing such a tax will prevent the individual or the people concerned from the staking of the betting or not. But I doubt that will. And so, if you intend doing that, the best option is to ban it and not to introduce the tax. And I said the tax will solve the problem. Here we are today, has the tax solved the problem as intended by the government? I insist that tax must be abolished. And as Minister of Finance, my first mandate, I will abolish the betting tax. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We don't do that in Parliament. We say here. The next person is Honorable.
I thought somebody was my friend, because I was given an opportunity to ask a question. She started heckling me even before I asked the question. Congratulations, my leader. My real question was to ask you how prepared you are to deal with the multitude of economic challenges confronting Ghana. After listening to you within these few minutes, I thought it wise to abandon my question. Because even before asking, you have made a case demonstrating your readiness and preparedness to confront the problems of Ghana with greater expertise and finesse than we have seen in the past. So I have a few questions focusing on what my brother, the former majority leader, now minority leader, raised in his thesis that he read before we started. One beautiful thesis.
Honorable member, continue. Proceed.
Number one, will you abolish the Eden?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My position on the Eden is open. I do not intend to run from it. I'm
written articles against the e-levy. I champion the opposition against e-levy. I still stand by them. The chairman, the e-levy is neither a direct tax, indirect tax, or an excise tax. I don't know how to classify the e-levy as a tax practitioner. The chairman, it doesn't mean that I do not recognize that the e-levy brings in certain revenue. But the fact remains that the e-levy requires progress towards a cash flow. We need to abolish it. I have said, I have said, that given the opportunity to abolish the e-levy. I want to restate that position that if approved, as part of the first budget, I will privilege and I will announce that we will abolish the e-levy as part of our first budget, recognizing a stance and a commitment that His Excellency the President, President Mahama, said that as part of our 120 days agenda, we will abolish the e-levy. We stand by that. We stand by that, and I can assure you, the e-levy will go within the 120 days calendar that the flag was. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ayariga. Minority Leader and the Ranking Member wants to do a follow-up on the question related to abolishing e-levy.
Thank you, Chairman. Chair, my respected colleague and leader tells us that he's aware that abolishing the e-levy would amount to government losing. How does he make up for the loss of revenue?
Thank you very much. Your answer to the question, please.
Chairman, it shouldn't always be revenue. Why are we not paying attention to expenditure? I think you have a choice of both. Remove the e-levy and replace it, or remove the e-levy, don't replace it and cut corresponding expenditure. The option is on the table. As Minister, I will obviously consider the e-levy holistically and the fact that it's going and look at its impact and assess it upon me. But my commitment will not change. The e-levy has to go, and it will go immediately.
Thank you very much. Intimated he has a further supplementary question.
Chair, my respected colleague and leader has introduced an important point. I find it very intelligent one. He says that it's not always about revenue and expenditure. We are aware of several expenditure lines. These are largely social intervention. Is he saying that he's going to do away with some of the social intervention programs to enable him succeed? Or has he been able to identify a particular expenditure line to be able to deal with? Because to say you are going to abolish it on good authority and you are not going to look for another source of revenue to replace it, but you're going to cut the expenditure, it so suggests that you've identified one. Have you been able to identify one?
Mr. Chairman, the quality of expenditure matters. I've said here, on record to have said that as part of our short-term measures, we will indeed implement a careful but a strong expenditure-based front-loaded fiscal consolidation agenda without hurting growth in the vulnerable. The vulnerable obviously means protecting social protection. Mr. Chairman, I'm a social democrat. My party, the NDC, is a social democratic party. We stand by our ideals. We will not be the ones to hurt the vulnerable. We will protect the vulnerable in our society. Our expenditure cut will be careful. Will be done in a way where the vulnerable will be protected. Now I've said the quality of expenditure matters. It matters in the sense that expenditure must drive inclusive growth. And so if the expenditure is wasteful and it's not properly targeted, it's not achieving the desired outcome, then we have to relook at it. So we'll be guided. Remember, aside my professional expertise, I'm also a politician. I have won a mandate, and my constituency is a rural constituency. I understand the people of Ghana. I understand the needs of the vulnerable. I understand the dynamics of the political economy. I have monitored Ghana's economy for close to 20 years, 2 decades. I understand its trends, and I can assure you that whatever policies that we will introduce it in such a way that it will drive inclusive growth and help all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Olympic member is really enjoying the answers to the question. We will now move on with Honorable Mao.
Honorable First, you have been talking about cutting down expenditure. You repeated that several times this morning. Is the reduction in the number of ministers and the reduction in the number of existing ministries. Is that part of the measures being taken at the highest levels to cut down expenditure?
Reducing government ministries from 30 to 25 gives you a savings of 7 bureaucratic agencies. 7 bureaucratic agencies comes with its own cost. Therefore, it is part of the envelope. So straight away you can see the envelope. Today, the Ministry of Finance will have to populate the budget as approved by Parliament for expenditure in the funds of appropriations. It has, as part of it, so straight away you have percentages of 27 some are fixed that you will look at. And so you can understand that as part of the government's policy to cut down expenditure, we have already begun. And I'm sure in the next budget, you'll be very impressed with us what some of the things we'll do. I don't want to preempt it, and it's not yet. I'll come to you to approve very fast so that I can start the work. Thank you.
My last question is, do you have any doubts about any of our commitments to abolish any of the taxes? We reneging, is there any conversation in the circles of government? Is there any doubt in our mind about any of the taxes that we said we will abolish?
Thank you very much. I will take a question from Honorable.
Thank you, Chairman, and congratulations to Honorable Dr. Atokose. But I'm impressed with your responses so far, a clear indication that we are ready to help reset them. But I have a quick question. The previous government, in the process of introducing e-levy, abolished Roto. As you have committed to remove e-levy, do you consider to bring back Roto collection? And what is your take on property rate collections as well? Because they attempted to centralize it and they reversed it with the previous government. attempted centralization of property. They reversed it with the explanation that there were some challenges.
Chairman, they submitted to Parliament was a concession agreement with the company to reintroduce the returns out of company. Whichever the NDC indicated from day one that the road will come back. We are not running away from it. In fact, the Honorable Haruna Iddrisu at the time the minority said that the NDC promises to bring back the road. The answer is that we have not run away from that fact. So, I can assure you, we are a party that sticks to our promises. And whatever we have promised to do, we do just that. If the road toll is a road toll, is revenue. We raise the revenue. The road toll, if you use the road, you have to pay a toll. And it's all over the world. Ghana will be the first country, will be the last one. You have to contribute towards the road maintenance. And so, the only thing is we have to collect the revenue effectively and efficiently so that we can plow it towards the maintenance of those roads. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will take a question from the
I was seconded to the office of the vice president. So as a lecturer of business, we are thinking to support that on behalf of the university. I congratulate you, and I can see my colleague Professor Jonathan Anna sitting behind you to show moral support. Honorable Nominee, on 3rd April 2019, Ghana's economic management team held a public lecture at the College of Physicians and Surgeons. And this lecture was led by the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The lecture was themed "Our Progress, Our Status, Our Future." A day after that lecture, there was another public lecture organized by the Coalition for Restoration that is affiliated to your party on 4th April 2019, and you spoke at that public lecture, which was themed "The State of the Ghanaian Economy, Myths and Truths." In your presentation, you put out some data, among which I found highly misleading data that you put out. And to quote you, Robert, you said, and I quote, Mr. Chairman, official data from the Ministry of Finance indicates clearly that overall deficit by end of 2016 was 7.8% of GDP, into brackets, 6.1% of new rebased GDP. But the figure you put out on was utterly untrue. And to back this with evidence, if you read the budget statements of 2017, the mid-year budget statement of 2018, and the mid-year budget statement of 2019, the full budget, you will see that page 7, paragraph 14, the 2017 mid-year budget puts that figure at 9.3% of GDP, and not what you quoted. Again, page 12, paragraph 45 of the 2018 mid-year budget puts the figure again at 9.3%, and know what you quoted. Last week 3, rather 14 of the 2019 full budget statement puts the figure at 9.3%, and know what you quoted. Where did you get that figure you quoted? Would you consider apologizing to the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Ibrahim, and Honorable Nominee, former Vice President?
Honorable Dr. Gideon Bob, it doesn't lie in your mouth to ask the nominee to consider apologizing. So, follow that. Thank you, question.
Honorable Nominee, my question is, you know the MPRO office of the Finance Minister that potentially you're going to should come with utmost integrity, honesty, backed by meticulousness, profundity, and analytical precision. In your capacity as minority spokesperson, you misled the public with wrong public data. Can you assure this committee that you are not going to sleep on the job and make some of these data presentational errors that we have even experienced in the past, for which Ghana was charged for some misreporting by the IMF? That's my question, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Before I answer the questioner, I will want you to consider for me going to the office with a degree of honesty, integrity, which against our rules. So expand that from the question. Then I can ask.
Mr. Chairman, if you can guide me. I think what the chairman is saying, the aspect where we delved into his personality. So just say that that bit is still the chairman to me.
Normally, you may proceed further. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Very wrong in the sense that he's not very for 2018, 2019, Chairman, is wrong. In fact, the very 7.8 fiscal deficit for 2016 was reported by the IMF. Mr. Chairman, the IMF has subsequently even revised the fiscal deficit for 2016 down on cash basis to 6.0. A research advice. I use data from independent sources. Ghana was an IMF program at the time. 2017, the Ministry of Finance presented the budget. They quoted the numbers. I challenged the numbers. In fact, my former boss also challenged the numbers because I was getting this at the time. 2018, they repeated the same inaccurate numbers, and it had become the order of the day.
Mr. Chairman,
I have a responsibility.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I have a responsibility to defend the legacy. And I had a responsibility to defend our legacy. And in defending the legacy, I actually decided to use data from independent sources, the International Monetary Fund. And in doing so, the IMF presented, Chairman, I'll give you this. This is a dashboard I asked the Ministry of Finance to tabulate for me. Ministry of Finance's own data. I did not compute.
according to the same Ministry of Finance, the fiscal deficit cash basis for 2016 was 6.3% of GDP. The chairman, this is not coming from me. So the 7.8% I was extremely charitable, extremely charitable, because I've made off 1.5% of GDP. But that was what the Ministry of Finance's report. They gave it to me this month when I asked for it. So there's no basis for me to apologize. I stated the fact. I stated what is coming from the IMF, but I had earlier on objected to as the government to consider we look at the numbers again. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nominee. We indicated that he doesn't have the power to ask any nominee to apologize. Doesn't lie, and it was withdrawn. So I will move to the next question. Member of the committee, Honorable.
Mr. Chairman, I will seek your leave to a point of order. My brother and
the
matter just put on the table that consistently the Ministry of Finance presented wrong data.
What brother are you coming?
Mr. Chairman, I have to put this on record that he's saying that consistently for 2 years, the Ministry of Finance presented wrong data. You were a member of Parliament at that time. You were all members of Parliament at that time. And then he comes back to tell us that today he's gone back to that same Ministry of Finance to get accurate data because he's the one going to lead or chair lead the ministry. I don't think it is wrong. I don't think that is how we should treat ourselves. For one reason, we have found out another data that is contrary to what we presented. We definitely don't explanations, definitely don't reasons why it is so. But to say that consistently we presented data, consistently for 2 years. This is fun. And like my neighbor in 81 West said, whatever we say here, the international investors are listening and watching and questions on this economy. So let's manage what we say. We are not saying don't speak the truth, but we cannot say that consistently for 2 years. Ministry of Finance is presenting a wrong data here. Mr. Chairman, I expect to say something about it. Thank you very much.
For the number
now, the nominee
Mr. Chairman, respect, you have to press something like that because we were a member of Parliament. And they are saying that we watch while wrong data being presented.
That's what I'm from Bango. I'm from Bango, and I say, okay.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman, for the opportunity to ask some questions. Let me use the opportunity to congratulate my friend, Honorable Asia Atuba for his nominations. Finance Minister sometime in 2022. You alluded to the fact that the central bank printed 22 billion cedis ostensibly to inject into the economy some funds. I want to find out from you if you still stand by that comment or those comments, given the fact that the central bank came out with a statement explaining what they did, which was in line with the bank program and also covering from the second demand.
Ghana was not in the program 2022, and that cannot be in line with the IMF program.
I didn't get an answer.
Nominee Kalulu.
Has been or to many band definitely very reflective has been a check here.
I know one of what? Sorry for calling. I'm used to calling it. You are someone who loves to read the deck report. And you always engage me on the deck report for the Ministry of Finance. May I know your thoughts on the debt reports, particularly 2022? Reading from the previous debt report, public debt as it stands now increases with the deficit policy. About 90% of the increase in our external debt was due to the cedi's depreciation. Which is mainly past the what are you going to do differently to ensure that exchange rate depreciation will have very effect on our balance?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Yes, this Finance Committee. We started raising the red flags and asked the minister to act far back in 2020. In fact, we did in our call to ask the government to act. Our major concern at the time had to do the exclusion of certain banks. Eslam Bond, Sino Hydro, Dutch Bond, and many others. We said what they are doing is wrong. And that as long as you are going to do this, government will pay this debt percent. Debt. So the debt that you reported is goods. Loan to the public. We are compelled to add estimate to the public. We are compelled once again to add that check of we have this we tend to provide fast forward. That's why the NDC. How many kind of master social disadvantage? So that we can report but why past mistakes? Let's get to it. Yes. As long as you know projects, when they say they negotiate, it's against those currencies. Because you express it as currency, it will have an impact on some of what you've done. But remember, it's also your responsibility to manage the currency. It's not someone else's responsibility. Except for that.
Yo. How many names do you know? To try and about to almost say okay. So I do what we are there. I do what we are there. Not to for how many guys will be go away. new MD no cycle. Oba cycle baka new MD. So we use to be through cry. That's the So anyway.
The inflation that we saw in 2016, the city that we saw depreciating to the level that you are talking about.
No, hey, where they told? Share, we know. We have sent the comment. I will be my telegram. I'm not going to training now. First one, we are energy. After energy, as an authority general. How many training are there? I think that we.
They always say to you, and they will want to know from you as Minister of Finance, because under the previous administration, Okobo was moved from the Ministry of Finance to the Ministry of Agri. They want to know from a Okobo in the area whether you are immediately going to increase as promised.
What's the number?
To 6,000 as promised. Thank you very much, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What's your number?
That's why I need to go, Mr. Chairman. As we speak, the chairman of the Police Advisory Committee is the Minister of Agriculture and not the Minister of Finance. The government changed the position. In fact, President Akufo brought a bill to the House for second change. Until that changes, I will not be the chair of the Police Advisory Committee for me to comment. But what I can say is that you know my passion. I don't know how to do it for myself. I recognize the work of the people.
Chara muntu okomo namba papa so papa nyiska enye godoko ko ofa uko 6,000 no mufi akra na se ko omdo ko 10,000 ana wenye ska hwe em ko village on papa no 3,000 sene se samsa otumu di otumu ri godovi wa dem go village ko re otra ngodo wi atra wes Dale, Coco, no. So, Coco. Last year, the Buffer went by bed to 230 million. Buffer. Asana. Asana, we share. So, when they were really there about the house. Charlie, big house. You must restart. No. Okay, I think so. No, so let's be franco.
Not just single and it's categorized how many regions in our country, most of this country, is so big.
But thank you very much to Lisa. That committee is fully chaired by Lisa. So you have a voice right from the web. Thank you very much.
Passion will always
it's now the turn of our
my boss, the majority leader, Honorable Professor Atu Fossey, working with you as your people. I have no doubt you are cut for this job. You are a personality determined to achieve results, and you are selfless in your family country. I believe with you in the chair, you will be able to drive, on behalf of the president, the economic reset that we all desire to celebrate. Chair, I have an observation. I haven't served long enough on this committee, and I have this to say. This is the longest vetting of a leader since I entered Parliament. Though my very good friend, the respected minority leader, made the point that there's a convention that leaders are vetted differently. And I was here when even the deputy majority whip at the time, Honorable Lydia Alassane, was vetted. That rule even applied to her as a deputy whip. We are approaching 3 hours of vetting. There's a perception that these things only apply when our colleague NDP are at the receiving end, i.e., when they need to benefit, these rules apply. And we on the NDC side follow through. Let me just be on the record that one day, if a leader gets vetted 3 hours, 4 hours, it wouldn't be that, oh, because it's a you are actually set. Let me go to another application. My very respected I know you they actually goes not to every matter. They actually watch videos of proceedings in Parliament. And go like for example, this premium on people's affairs. It is what I call the press campaign, using this platform for press conference mission. He spoke about a lot of things. One of the important things he spoke about was the communication from His Excellency the President in his house, where he suggested that at order 65.1 says that letter, that type of letter should be signed by the President, Vice President, or a minister designated by the President. And he took issues with Dr. Kalisu Sami Dare. I have here in my hands a letter dated 23rd January 2021. And this letter communicates President Akufo-Addo's nominees for ministerial and regional ministerial president. And guess what? The person who signed this letter is not even the president of the legislature. It's somebody called Honorable Eugene Adam, acting director of communication, office of the president. So, whilst I agree with you that yes, the thing says okay, so what I'm saying is that I agree with him that order 65.1 should be adhered to. But the point is that this is nothing new in this house. Indeed, the executive secretary of the president has communicated to this house, appointing people to authority matters. So that's all. Honorable I have just one question for you. And this question is regarding a payment of $53 million towards a supposed cathedral project, which was a commitment of the former president to his God. As we speak, the $53 million have been paid. The result is a big move not far from here. We also know that the payment was made through the Ministry of Finance. My question to you is, having knowledge that the $53 million could have paid for 3 completed Agenda 111 district hospitals, could have paid for 1,226 unit classroom blocks, could have paid for 1,050 cheap compounds, could have paid at least 199,000 teachers, and actually could have bought 9,000 classes for farmers. Will you promise that when you are approved by this house and then subsequently by the house, you will set up an investigation as to whether this payment
was legitimate and if possible retrieve this money so that we can buy the 9,000 cutlasses for the farmers. I actually built 1,052 compounds and 1,200 6-unit classroom blocks. Hopefully, I will get some of the 6-unit classroom blocks. Will you make a commitment to make sure that this $53 million, which many Ghanaians believe was a waste, becomes something that will benefit the organized
before you proceed to my question, let me that the form of the communication committee decided his support. It's a matter of fact, it's not about the form of the factors. So let's proceed with our as to whether we investigate it or not, the Ministry of Finance do not have investigative power. It is the government, and based on the government's agenda to investigate, I attend the Office of the Attorney General and the newly established court. So, Mr. Chairman, for me, let me put it this way. There are better lessons we have to learn from some of these expenditures and what has done to all of us as a country. And what we have gone through together, because in the end, we ended up borrowing, and we borrowed into a more sustainable debt to the extent that we had to give domestic borrowers their cards, including borrowers. So we have to learn from it, and I've said that we need to identify some of these kind of expenditures. You are now aware of this, or maybe they are not knowledge. Can we identify some of them? Can we bed together the political class, the government class, not to continue some of these things, and allow the private sector to do some of these things? So I'll look at here and do that. I will work with yourselves, identify some of these resource expenditures, and let's handle this. Thank you very much.
My respected colleague made reference to earlier observation made in respect of communication from the Secretary to the President to the House. He did suggest that there is precedence and that in January 2021, specifically 21st of January 2021, the communication from the Presidency was signed by Eugene Ayin, Acting Director of Communication, informing the Speaker of Assembly meetings in regards to him as a President. I humbly beg to disagree with him on his own evidence. The letter he referred to is rather a press release, not a letter to the Speaker. And his own record is titled "For Immediate Release, President Akufo-Addo's nominates from the Sugar and Regional Ministers Executive." The President of the has submitted to Parliament for Parliament through the Speaker, Right Honorable Abdul-Samad the names of the following persons from government as ministers in his name. So, just for the record, my respected colleague, Eugene Ayin has never written on behalf of the President to the Speaker. This This is a press release, and if you want to read it, President Akufo-Addo is hopeful that Parliament will see to the prompt approval of the bill so that they can assist in the delivery of the mandate for the second term in office. This is a press release, and in fact, our colleague Fofu as the acting spokesperson for the president, has actually also released a statement in respect of the nominees that what to call it. So I'm saying that get the fact right. Eugene Aye, for records, never wrote to Parliament, and that was not what I was referring to. I referred to the letter from the secretary. In any event, I rely on the rules of the house. So this Eugene never wrote to us, and I did not receive the copy. Neither did I put the wrong note, neither was I suggesting that there was no such precedent and that this is something that I got wrong. I couldn't have gotten it wrong with this concern.
There are the points going on the new house for that.
Yes, I think I will just read it because I always have such communication should be signed by the president, the vice president, and I agree with you. So I'm just saying that because I know that how do you call it? For the president's executive secretary have communicated to this house on a number of occasions. But as the chair directed me, leader, the people of Adaku have heard a lot about the debt of this country. We have heard you say sometimes if we were to share the debt, my auntie this would have to pay 20,000 Ghana cedis as part of our debt. But so far, I've not heard you speak about, in your view, going through the transition. How much does this country owe now? What was it in 2016? And what is it now? What my auntie is supposed to pay if we were asking for any kind of money from this organization?
Thank you very much for your question. Now we owe now. What was it in
2020? Yes, then as part of the budget, and maybe His Excellency the President during the State of the Nation address will have to announce those activities. I will urge that we wait until they finalize NDR numbers because the fiscal fits into the debt. So we'll be able to know exactly what is going to I want to say something.
Original team, Ghana Head team. When you say, and yet I'm telling that is a one, we and that's a fine. I am sorry, maybe be of tea, after some something, and maybe are not to a better be outside the tea. To support the original team, not happy. The Yaboko to our young pop or empty. Let us share that we must need an name to support. I am to a better be amount, and she have a name. Who be a champagne, they were not free, they were missing. With me, I'm free of money, so 0302 9861. Original TV, original effort. So can you say and share my say? Original TV, Ghana Head TV.
Omadeshia, a grass was there, the original, and a school more, and then a Pramo Abbo, a province of Matia, not yet the Studio, yes, so as what will be a star, and yet not the John Dramani Mahama, a book with Tia, a photo, and what a video. Yeah, every time you have to talk, carefully, and to false and ample. Now, secondly, and not what the Africa, this particular what is excellent overhead. They are in the basically a chef now, Amabia, Esme, and also one, every hour of my God. Your people are areas, so human beings, because not for Alexander and the government, and the celebrity that was what did our said, now I am of the nation what welcome to the with me unconscious of the after. I'm not like we need a problem with the after government for human something as a legal account of that. You're not really identity that existed. You're more at the core and I'm not going to come and you're going to come and mama before you know what they're going to do. But you're so heavy and someone, I left that to have your mind.
He said that he will so on behalf of the He cannot. The letter should be subject to state that he has been authorized. That is if we decide to do our decision. You cannot just make out this. He is writing on that. Tell him how that happens. Then the letter is not also like visual substitutions that are only essential. These are the ways and there are standards.
Everybody are now here for a part that 3 months, they ask my dad and say, one one is that I'm going to be full up to you are. That's how one is going to pay us quite a lot of more. We are into the human and we want to not have this. And of course, we will reach that. They are on track, they have presidential transition act 24, and now college, but we should watch our cancer and the armament and the fire worship. One of the things that I have the power, that's a problem, and that the other one. No, we take that and we do or the criminal or the problem with 4 people, and we only have Yang pertama adalah apa itu apa yang kau mampu dicontoh mana enggak buat dia yang mampu tu dia buat tu dia orang yang mampu saya dia apa tapi pada waktu kau ada kau dia ada apa buat dia itu buat yang dia akan achieve.
This issue of the National Cathedral. On the next issue of the National Cathedral, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice directed government to audit the project and investigate any misuse of public funds. Government is enjoined to follow this directive and will soon activate such an investigation into the project. But on the future of the project, the cathedral, I believe that all of us as Christians consensus on how to achieve such a project without recourse to public funds. And this project must be achieved at a reasonable cost. The current circumstances that Ghana is going through, it makes no sense to achieve such a project at a whopping sum of $400 million. I am informed that the National Ecumenical Center in Abuja, which is used by all Christian faith in Nigeria, was built at a cost of $30 million. I believe that we can reach a more reasonable figure for achieving such a project, and together we can raise the funding for it. Such a reconsideration of this project might even include changing the current site that was chosen for the project. I leave the rest to any such future consultation that we will have as the body.
Magdalena Amanaldo proprio di più nuovo e mi hanno stato facile o proprio su questo video che mi modesta parte e mi hanno di attività o di sia di da ecco fuori. A me va a presentato come un fatto proprio di che vogliamo fare e quindi a cui si avvia e non si si fa.
Another cornerstone of our mission will focus on improving infrastructure, providing resources, teachers, and expanding access to technology for students. As indicated in our 150-day plan, we will convene a national education review conference to dialogue on the challenges facing various levels of our educational system, in order that we can forge a consensus on the way to achieve quality education. As we speak, we have a challenge currently with feeding students in secondary schools, as the Ghana Education Service insisted that schools must reopen on the 10th of February, contrary to the advice of the Conference of Heads of Assistant Secondary Schools. As a stop calculation, the vast chief of staff work with the Ghana Education Service to allocate and evacuate food that is currently held in warehouses in Tema, waste food. This food was imported by the Alcohol government. The response to the drought that occurred last year. But in this emergency, we need to do some of that food to feed our students so that the education can continue.
Questa Montpellier anche da qua in suo e scelta la sua essere per qua vanno ma io non ho mai visto a fare qua e ciò che ho fatto che ci manca ma ya qua va e quindi che si chiama anche mia madre vai ma se hai di lo fai con guarda e non è una cosa che mi è una nuova azione che fa sempre come ma non so che sta facendo hai delle via di che un po' di quindi ella è una fatica avete
Even though this election passed all peacefully, we must recognize that a few of our citizens lost their lives. The standing is almost 5 of our citizens were killed in the process of the election. This is not the first time in 2020 we know that 8 of our citizens were killed. That's why, as a part of me, I said, I must investigate and find out what led to these killings so that we can take action so that they don't happen again. So I asked my secretary, write to the IGP to give us a report on the status of investigations into these killings. Justice must be done. And we also will ask the Attorney General of the Heritage Office to determine fair and adequate compensation to the families of those who have lost their lives. As we offer our testimony today, we must remember that the end of elections marks the beginning of greater responsibility for all of us. Regardless of political affiliation, we must work together to work towards a shared vision, and that is the development and prosperity of Ghana.
Africa was just NGC for what say about any amount. Now, what you do about you to argument. And yet, so when I said the way I should live upon this about what just said about when I do what you do in the media, several of your me across the issue of the I will talk about you to put the edges of what is what you mean. I will and I will talk so every agreement. What just said and what in the media when I should say the way I should do it.
Agreements, tensions, and competition are natural and any democratic process. However, we must also remember that these challenges should not define us. They should inspire us to work harder for peace and understanding. And that is why, once again, I call on all our supporters and other persons who are involved in illegal actions, such as looting goods and occupying government offices and installations, to desist from doing this. We must do things differently to maintain the trust and confidence that Ghanaians have reposed in us. Many people have said it is the same thing that NPP did when they came in 2017, and that's why Ghanaians have voted them out. We must not copy the mistakes that they made. And so I plead with our supporters, let us do things in an orderly manner. The government is being formed, the ministers will be put in place, other officials will be appointed. And as I promised, we'll have our full cabinet within 14 days. And so we'll have ministers in charge. If you have any issues with our ministers, you have them resolved. So please.
No, so and some and reporting on another one, we get to ask if more and I should be a man be comfortable with what's the name, marketing and customer service. So, what you tell marketing at night, so the money, Mahama, everything that was it. So, what about and people one day, and the thing that they are advanced into a sure I would be about to that, which is then you will form the
Things, machines on the local. So today, the people are here picking their items from the company. So we can clearly see people's machines were taken from them. We all came here today to pick our machines. That is what is happening.
Wasuya, sorry, any electrical company and chemical. So, actually, we know what is happening. We know about the structure, but we come from I'm sure I only any shaman could not have any food or about the structure and after Jamaica police command, more and for a year and after Martin Apple, a year in the structure after. And now, but she did really exercise out. the Alpha Echo command for one take up of the year in chance. Maybe I'm going to look at the and I'm sure the market.
Now, all His Excellency and they should cease fire. He just came. He would like to settle and look into the cases. I was instructed in some situations. So what they are looking for is His Excellency John President to intervene in this solo electrical issues. He has come. We shall allow him to settle. We have even settled the office yet. So feel this. He will come and then solve all these problems for them. We know that it's something that we can solve. So they should just come down and solve it. So that they can also go around to do their normal.
Then we keep my men comfort, though you could do, but what's so and to be HSA. And yet, or man for any addition, about for actually one not able to be them. And I'm sure Ama and Cassie may be at Yaku. Ama just share upon at Yaku, I'm sure Ama, the man for the addition, Abay and Saka one, which me every hour when she was selling, say, women have a prayer with entry and say, fire, buy anything for the individual.
They have released all of so I'm consulting the there's nobody in custody. So everybody should just take it easy. It's Excellency.
After you put on your phone, you can now say and tell you can not tell you and a dash from someone who should have a future. So what they won't let not when you feel it every people. And how so am I in her side if you decide if you have that say. One more try actually see me our brother and I tell one because our kind of thing you get anything. Now we look to more than actually on the board. So we about one that we can more. Almost so much less at the either you people. Now one to the and if you start now watching, and you're okay, now we're talking about the process of being one only for action for kind, that's the marketing. One of the things and not say they are one. Now, my dad is let's do the full test. Let's say, one watch that, yeah, watch the market, no more to the full amount. One more test, and you said, you let me. Something that's me every corner, when you appear to the whole area. That's all for home, you can see Taiwan. The other said, you know, every buy energy at buy. So, we have to do a car or mobile money for the I'm not buying the with the basically a pocket. I will end up. I would have had no problem for the actual ever asking me one. And to say, I got the money over. And to the full cash from my people. That's the you know, I really have got any people that only one. After year 4 Obi-Wan Sodiana for Dr. Congo, as we are Congo, who can be a prior to and rapture for one, and how more as a company to abide every. That I assume what I yesterday. They'll put one now we can entry or how far any other force and the mass for to now we can have a you be the buyer, or to let go of what you ask you. And after a month, you will a great price. Now we can have a war, and make the other and near my home. I must be able to me about. Not what you say, what they ask you to get against me about something after entering. And so was sure about a war. We are Congo, yes, the hour of Papa. I was there as not going, we are okay. Now we see everything happening to us. And so, yeah, in one home, you have good one. Yes, you have some, you are power. I have told and the rebel group. I guess a one who are and my now, when you go and I look at that woman. And look at that what I have not with you have been how one will be able to look at the dinner at now, you are so yes, let's say accept her, I know that is good. What on you are going to whether you want to come and what a year to think, oh, who you want one, accept one of one at the wonder. And you can pick it in 50 years and and now one thing, one so like one thing. Now that they will want what you are not this. And look at the 40 you can do and you go to me after that and not to me now. Double one request to see the and just pronounce it. And look at my little one. The people other than one. And just the people and the we are going to abide access as well for the top of the advice. Tell what a year of something to come. So you say that into your shoes to implement the power of what. I'm not sure I'm down for wisdom I belong. As well from the world of one. That's what I will be looking at the last time I was share Bumble as well. For making the book you have no one thing in here. That's how one not what we have to do. It is really about anything because no matter what, so we have to enhance the one way of the world. And I'm going to start here and will continue and community. And I'm not sure I'm not. That you will get your work in there. Also, for the other category, it is not a geographic kind. Maybe that is the kind. Let's start to say it's 4 points. And I have to every amount.
Tea, Ghana tea.
For scale, the free SHS program in its current form and shape, and even improve upon the quality.
Thank you very much. Normally you answer the question whether you will sustain and impact on the community.
Chairman, thank you, Chairman. Myself and my team. We plan to enter this challenge. Unfortunately, in its first attempt, we couldn't make it. The chairman, he lost that primaries and won. Today, 110 older than him. The chairman and his senior. He's older than me, just 1 night. Same here. We are 2 constituencies apart. We used to do private sector business even before we all entered here. We've known ourselves. Everyone knows the relationship between us. But working with him, didn't stop me from doing it. Didn't stop me from doing it. So I have to colleagues. We have a relationship. But you should not stop it from doing it. You should work for all the country. You have to do this for the rest of your lives. They just that at a moment
fought, united ourselves. Today, the time is now. And for me, good. Be good. That's a good one. German, I want to say this. My party's position is we do not cancel. In fact, President Mahama has said that the free SHS has come to stay. I don't think we need any further shots. The President of the Republic of Ghana has made a statement. Mr. Minister, that is appointed. So you have the assurance from the highest level of government to present the policy. I don't think I have what it takes to give this assurance. Is that? And you'll be coming to this process part of the statement. I'm sure you really uphold that message. I'm really servant. My responsibility, if approved, will be to allocate resources to his priorities or to the priorities of the government. And I'll do that. So, my brother and my friend, be assured that PSHS has come to say, and if there is anything, we'll come to this house. The President has said, the budget will be presented to this house for us to always consider it. So let's not jump the gun. But I'm sure you are very sure, you are very much aware of what His Excellency is pronouncing.
Thank you very much. Any further question?
So, I would like to know you as the holder of the post, whether the school feeding program may be sustained.
Thank you very much. School feeding program.
I said earlier that I come from I know impact of school feeding. My concern is that the amount you give to the child as the cost you pay to the children is not enough to pay to feed the child alone. In fact, it is not enough even to buy egg. That's what it is. It's not enough to buy egg. And so we will not only sustain it, but we'll make it better. We'll make it better. Because as I've said, our policies will be designed in such a way that those strong will preserve growth and protect the poor. The one is what we are talking about. Remember, the school feeding is not in Achimota. It's not in Achimota school. It's somewhere in the village. And for them, this once or twice is enough. So, Chairman, just for the interest of the listening to should take that the current amount of people is going to increase once take over. Without assurance, what percentage should we expect? 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%? See that? So please let the interest grow as the owner of the rest. The percentage you are going to increase. Cost.
Thank you very much. I just want to provide your answer. Yes, but before you provide your answer, I need to comment.
Well, I said that you just make reference the amount you pay. I said it was enough. Because I've heard the pages instead. Chairman, this is a house of records. Whatever we say here goes to the answer. I never said that. Because the chairman, you don't just increase each.
Honorable said that he's aware that the caterers are that is the fact that is coming from. Two, he says that they are not being paid, considering the cost of an egg, he referred to that. And he's going to improve. Now, what is the definition of it? This is a matter of cost. If you say the amount is not enough, even the cost of an egg, and looking at how much they are paid. So obviously, you are suggesting to them that you are going to increase the amount they are being paid. And if you cannot give us a percentage, that's fine. I won't push. But I want you to be on record that upon assumption of office, the caterers should expect an increase in the amount being paid as compared to the current payment they are receiving. Just for the record.
I think from your answer, education is clear. The amount is what it is, right? The attest to the capacity will not be able to indicate a percentage improvement. So the answer is already just the cost of that much. That's the pay of interest. That's the norm. And so the first attention is to share the pay for the patients. That's why I had to go for education such as this. So let's take it first. Let's take it first. On the question of others, we need to know that there's a amount of time that's happening for Ghana for the status. Yes, pay them make them happy.
Yes, Mr. Chair, as for this, I know it is not. So I will Honorable respected government paid all patrons, and I want to quote the last step. It's only this step that is this which has just begun. That government does not pay, that government owes, because the term will have to end. But I want you to know that I am aware that government paid all outstanding patrons. The NPP government at the time of the office have paid every single patron. Every single patron was paid. There is no outstanding, and that it is this current term which I just begun. That upon completion, they will send their invoices for validation. So just for the and I pray that with assurance that there's going to be improvement in the amount you pay. You are saying that you use the word increase, but you use the word increase. Well, it means the same. So they expect that this current year, all the way, as you take on as a fresh central, they are going to enjoy an improved payment. Thank you. Mr. Chair, something that let me go back to the issue of the paper. In an earlier response to questions that came from the floor, my respected colleague indicated that, well, the cocoa sector is under the Ministry of Agri, and that if there is any policy realignment, you look at it. He also indicated that he's a key advocate for cocoa farmers. He did also indicate that he would advocate for the cocoa farm. Now, the issue is beyond advocacy. You are now the man in charge of the press, and you know the pressure on cocoa farmers. The 6,000 Ghana cedi per bag that you committed, would it be your benchmark in your advocacy and eventual decision for the cocoa farmer? But they are listening.
Thank you. That's it. But I with me. That's actually recording on my wife.
Ghana Cocoa Board uses this money part to buy cocoa, part to buy fertilizers and other inputs. I don't know what Cocoa Board is saying behind. I don't know the extent of this. Yeah. I don't know the extent of debt that Ghana Cocoa Board is saying. If I sit here, that's the I recognize their sacrifices. What was good for them in the last 10 years. Let's get to the first. See what they have to do. I still contend that the price you are paying the cocoa farmer is inadequate. I contend that it's inadequate.
Thank you.
And there is no room for improvement.
Thank you. Further question.
Is that we need consider that the 6,000 per bag on the floor of the house was a near party I said.
You always have to do 6,000. Someone can be exempt from the
So we could have adjusted their benefits. Very soon, the minister yes, I commit to work with them to give the cocoa farmer a fair price. I believe the cocoa farmer deserves a fair price. I know it's excellency the former president to go that I had said the cocoa farmer deserves 6,000. I said it on the phone, and I backed it with the word market price at the time. I still have time to get a cocoa farmer deserves 6,000. I'm not right with that position.
You be consistent in your delivery question.
The nominee is being vetted as Minister of Finance. I want to ask whether economic planning requires official responsibilities.
Thank you very much. You will get instrument to proceed to the
Chairman, the instrument said Ministry of Finance. I'm aware that stop policing itself. Very ready.
report you. Very much more question.
The instrument titled Executive Civil Service Instrument dated the 9th of January 2025. State the following. Ministries of the Civil Service. The following ministries in the civil service are hereby established. A. Ministry of Finance. If you go to the unreferenced letter from the office of the president, signed by Callistius Muhammad, PhD. No, Callistius Muhammad, PhD. My colleagues like to echo me. When I give them a small dose, they don't cry. Signed by Callistius Muhammad, PhD, Secretary to the President. Which letter? The unreferenced letter, dated the 9th of January 2025. States as follows. In accordance with Article 78(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, 1992, I hereby, on behalf of His Excellency John Mahama, submit for consideration and approval of Parliament the following nominees for ministerial appointment. 1. Dr. Kasila Abdul and Minister Designate, Ministry of Finance and Economic. I'm staying a bit longer on this because the instrument is dated 9. The letter, communication to us, is also dated 9. What is it?
Now, nominate before the county leader, you know that the EI will take precedence over.
Chairman, does that mean that we should put the nominees vetting on hold and expect the presidency to communicate the correct designation to us? Because what you are saying, which are that the instrument which comes under constitutional provision, Article 11, any other order or regulation made by the President authority under the power conferred by this constitution or other regulation. I agree therefore that the instrument takes precedence over the letter. If that is so, I believe that the right thing to do would then be that receive another communication from the presidency stating the correct office you are going to, because that contradiction can only be cured by a letter. In any event, the instrument is not formally before the House. See, we are concerned because we thought the NDC haven't had an experience in government before, was fully prepared for this step. So with 8 quality men and women in charge of governance, we were expecting this to have been done. But I will not hold back your vetting. I am bringing this to attention of Chair to ferry these concerns to the presidency so that we get a new meeting. And I pray that that letter comes before the report. That said, let me move to my next question.
Well, Honorable Leader, leader with you, but let's concentrate on the substance of the thing. When you see that organization.
Chairman, I sympathize with the minority. He raised this point earlier, and you rightly said our committee had a pre-sitting meeting. All these issues were taken into consideration, and we came to a conclusion that we will do the vetting today. And I mean, we all commended them for this time. So going to bring back this thing and suggesting that somebody should have known something, I think these were the issues we discussed. Otherwise, what is the point of having pre-sitting meetings and then to decide on the path to take? And then in the public, we are taking a look as if these issues were not addressed. So I'm dealing with you. You have your right as the leader of the organization to bring forth your point, but you are taking us back a bit, and unfortunately, the majority of the people watching us did not benefit from the pre-meeting arrangement. So I'm dealing with you once again. I just want to remind you once again, the shortest vetting we've had in this parliament since I ended was the vetting of Honorable J. Mensah Bonsu, leader of the majority, leader of the House. The shortest. The opposite happening today is the longest. Just that. And when the one actually up and reminded us that we are participating in the longest ever vetting. As for Parliament and Ghana, it will continue to exist. We just hope one day nobody will insist. We insist that vetting of another leader should be the shortest.
Mr. Chairman, the shortest vetting that the reports is not doing itself. That's I do not want to believe that honorable member of the time explained this process. Fortunately, honorable Lobson, the chair is right here with us. We have had him on here, including honorable governors, interrogating phrases used, sentences used, grammar, and paragraphs contained in a letter from Nana Abdullah Akufo-Addo to the House. So please, if I'm just clarifying, just for the record, and don't,
Thank you, Honorable. Let's the point is well noted.
Honorable nominee, we assume without any doubt the President has serious confidence in your capacity to help finance his factions in place. And obviously values your insight and contributions in crafting policy. May you share with us if there is any planning and modeling to guide the development of the 24-hour policy.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Excellency, the President has appointed Honorable Mr. Kanda as the Special Advisor for 24 Hours Economy. His office, proud to his nomination, have worked extensively on the policy, 24-hour economy policy. In the coming days, we'll make those policies public, working with the Ministry of Finance on our plan.
said, that we can increase our technology, the same capital, the same resources, the same labor. I think it is up to us to work closely with the office of the special advisor to the president of our economy and this house, so that together we can talk it. Look, let me say that if Ghana succeeds, we are succeeding. And so we'll have to work together. I don't have the full details of the work they've done. And as I said, the work didn't just start. They've been working in the last 2 years to develop a program towards this 24-hour economic agenda. No wonder the Honorable Visitor was nominated to be President in such a position. Thank you. Sorry, Chairman.
Next question.
Chairman, so just for the ordinary, what is it? Just for
It needs explanation of 24-hour economy.
So we don't want the value chain. We believe that increase the workforce. We said one job. So 24-hour economy.
That's the structure. Has no say in the ready sources. Yes, what semblance. And you have marks where you used to go. I was like, going the way to the proper number. You can get one of the marks to produce one within the same 24 hours. I said, what will you produce? You can call it to the body, report, and ship it or process it. So, here's the recipe. Investment, where you can use the 24-hour. That's what we're talking. Not choice. Some costing. Because from your suggesting that you are going to target certain sectors. And if you are targeting these sectors, you really want to means that you need to inject some funding. So let us know what funding are you getting. Hey!
We say the promise of love shall be filled and all this Savior above. Showers of blessings release. Tell me that's right.
Thank you. Any further? Yes. Sure, we have a long way to go. Sure.
We have a 10 billion public infrastructure investment proposed by the NDC. At the same time, the NDC in government seeks to introduce a single fund and cap government role. This is a manifesto project. First, I want to know whether you pledge your support for this manifesto project. And if so, walk us through the numbers and demonstrate how it fits into the IMF framework from 2024 to 2028.
Mr. Chairman, I subscribe to the tenets of our manifesto because I stand. Mr. Chairman, yes, we promised to set up a single fund. It's necessary. It is required. If we had single fund today, I wouldn't be sitting here lamenting that there are debts that will fall due, yet we do not have buffers. We need to establish a single fund. We've done it in the past, and we'll do it again. I've said that it is only right for you to save during good times to take on bad times. So save when it's good, and when it's bad, we have buffers to be able to deal with the challenges. We have to cut them. We can't borrow into an unsustainability. We've said it in the past. Can we continue the same way? Can we continue giving bondholders haircuts? You know the consequences of the haircuts that we give the banking sector to this statement. And we have to borrow to support the banking sector for the haircuts that the country does. And many others. Pensioners have to suffer. Bondholders have to lose their capitals from their application of we need to help the body. We need to have those commitments. That's what we call it. Aside from what you mentioned, the 10 billion economic growth is part of this. Ghana's economy must grow. 10 billion of revenues gives you 12.5 billion. The outgoing government, the immediate past government, agenda 111, has left behind 1.5 billion for us to complete that development. We know about that. But I can assure you, in spite of the challenges, we have to carefully invest in the sector, in human analysis of it, and look about mining, infrastructure, and look about business, SMEs. We need to finance the sectors, and the rest sector, the development scheme. So $10 billion we can fund it over the medium term for the period. And I've said the quality of expenditure. You have a choice to take $58 million to fund Ashakati. In the same way, you have a choice to use 4 times that amount to be able to construct a proper highway between airports. Not only that, to increase productivity. So it's a matter of the quality of expenditure. We will do it, and we have to do it to move this country forward.
Thank you very much.
I learned something from Dr. One of the comments. Mine is from he once said there's a difference between releases and payments. So government will release to controller, and the controller will have to pay the payment. So when the actual, you can talk about actual payment when you are in receipt of the payment. Actual correct. So I would want to use that to clarify an earlier point that I made from the school feeding secretariat, that government released the entire 72 days old the cases to control, and the actual payment received out of those release letters.
From Anapa.
Payments received by cases.
No, okay. Maybe an adjocra may because I can too. And I to force in a portfolio no seem to know to make a class.
Get by cases. So I just wanted that on and that becomes your first responsibility to ensure that controller complies with the releases. Are you ready to ensure that the controller complies with the releases?
You are aware. Well, before coming to answer the question, I thought you said you have fully paid. But now that we are admitting that payment has not been paid and they are agitating, I would like the nominee to respond to your clarification.
I understand. We have been in this position. So wait, I'm not, as since we got to detail, all my questions to find the questions. I was playing my assist, from government side. So I understand they didn't want to wait. Chairman, I don't know, but it's for you to determine the number you are playing. But let's get it. When you hear I'm saying the government released all our standards. Through the one that it was for a full amount of 72 days. It was like the government of the entire standard was okay. And now the records have been the controller recordings 42 days. It was directed days. This is yet to ensure that the controller
Your comment.
That's the way you go.
arrears due and have a plan to repay. Mr. Chairman, today the government pays 1 cedi 50 pesos for a child to be fed. 1 cedi 50 pesos. Okay? And I've said that it's not enough even to buy egg. I've also said that, yeah, so breast we need to
how much of the 10 billion shall be raised